Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. We are just doing some last minute audio and visual checks. So if you'll give us just 1 minute.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good. Quentin should be joining shortly.
Awesome. Hey, Mark.
Oh. All right. And it looks like we have Quentin. Oh. Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mark.
All right. Well, we're a couple of minutes behind our own schedule, so we're going to hop right in. We have a lot of people on the line today. We're so excited about this. We actually almost hit our max for webinar attendees. So this is great. Welcome to everybody in the first part of our 3-part series that we're hosting along with our partners at Marquee. And this is all about helping educate and inform how you can buy, sell, and trade luxury handbags like top performing pawnbrokers. And so today we're going to focus on specifics of advertising. We have Deanna and Quentin from Marquee, who are presenters and panelists. We also have Mark Schechter, who's the CEO of Ideal Luxury, who's going to jump in with his perspectives, some of his best practices as well. And then, of course, our awesome CEO here at Bravo, Tally Mack. So Deanna, Quentin, and Mark, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So my name is Kathleen. I'm the head of marketing here at Bravo, and I will just be acting as moderator and put our presenters and panelists in the hot seat throughout the presentation.
Thank you.
So for today's presentation, we want to go through some very specific do's and don'ts of advertising luxury items. These are really actionable, so you'll be able to walk away and make changes immediately in your stores if you want to, or your online marketplaces. We also want to show you examples of really great advertisements online, and then those that need some work, and we'll give you the reasons why they're the great and not so great examples. And then Deanna is going to walk us through an extremely exciting initiative that Marquee has launched, which is a continuing education program. And we'll talk all about why you've launched that, what it is, and then the really generous offers that you have exclusive to Bravo customers. So just a couple housekeeping items here. There's a lot of great takeaways, but you don't have to scramble to write these things down. We are recording today and we'll send the recording. Please take advantage of the fact that we have a breadth and a depth of knowledge on the line today with our presenters and panelists. So jump in with any questions. We'll get those answered. And then we're here to help. So if there's anything you want to take a deeper dive into, just let us know and the appropriate person will contact you. And at the end, we also have all the contact information you'll need as well. All right, so let's jump right into the do's and the don'ts of luxury advertising. Deanna, I'm going to turn this over to you. And the way that we've structured this on the next slide here is that we have the don'ts and then the alternative do's. So go ahead and take it away.
Okay, actually, I want to pass this one off to Quentin.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, there's many do's and don'ts, as you know, in advertising. And I think this type of product, there are, and there's different venues that you can advertise, whether you're advertising on Google or if you're advertising through social media, but there are some very specific points. So one of the things that you don't want to do, and also within BAYA, is you don't want to use stock images. Unfortunately, it's very confusing to the customer. One of the main points about this product type is it is pre-owned. And as a result, the stock image just doesn't necessarily describe the item enough. And so you must use actual images of the actual product. Otherwise, it just confuses the customer, frankly. Don't use luxury brand logos. The actual LV logo is something that unfortunately is a trademark infringement, and you will have potentially a copyright issue, and you may get a cease and desist letter from the brands. So when advertising the product or advertising the brand, just use a photograph of the actual item itself, a handbag. So the Louis Vuitton monogram handbag has enough LV logos on it that in the end, you're not necessarily utilizing the actual logo, and people can recognize the actual brand as a result of that. Same with Chanel. Chanel typically has the CC logo on the front, and as a result, you can just utilize that. And you basically don't cross any lines there in terms of trademark issues. One of the issues that's come about more recently is on your social media, don't tag the brand. Sometimes people will say, tag Chanel or tag Louis Vuitton. Unfortunately, recently, Chanel has been very aggressive in terms of their approach on people who are doing so. And many of our clients, unfortunately, have had their Instagram taken down or certain posts taken down as a result of that kind of aggressive tactic. There's no reason to necessarily go to that length to basically tag the brand. It's unnecessary, and unfortunately, it's leading to issues. And in some cases, our clients have lost their Instagram account as a result of that and are fighting to get it back. When they have 50, 80, 100,000 followers, it's quite an impact to their business. So certainly would advise not doing that. We don't do that on our social media either. Use links on Instagram. That's, of course, something that you want to do. You can put that in your bio, and you can basically link inside of your bio on Instagram to your website, to Baya. There's a lot of different places that you can link to, but we would definitely suggest that you, don't use the link on Instagram, because unfortunately, you're towing the line on that in terms of the trademark issues. Some of the things that you do want to do, of course, are just the opposite. Of course, you want to use your own images. I wouldn't suggest also sometimes we see people borrowing images from even fashion files. So they're utilized even the mannequin photo when that's the case. So again, just use your own images. It's I know it's difficult sometimes to take a very clear image, but there are some tools that are out there that basically will white out the background and other things. So although professional photography sometimes is a little bit of a task to get set up, it's certainly worth it in the long run. It's important that you type the brand name. Again, just don't use the logo. Utilizing hashtags is okay. That's one way that people will find you inside of your social media. And you use links on Facebook. So Deanna can basically kind of expand on the link portion of this. And then we would always suggest that you refer to your authentication company you use in your descriptions. Many of you utilize Entropy. Some people use Real Authentication and other companies, but we certainly suggest that you use those authentication companies rather than just suggesting that you're leaning on your own personal experience. Unfortunately, that may not be enough these days because, as everyone knows, the counterfeit items are very well done. And as a result, just use a third party. The cost is nominal in comparison to actually selling a fake or advertising a fake.
Yeah, so let me just jump in real quick. So when you're advertising that you're selling Louis Vuitton or you're loaning on it or whatever it may be, I see a lot of windows wrapped with bags and the logo. The brands are really hot in the resale market right now, as in being hypercritical and being very litigious, especially Chanel. So as long as you're writing out the name, that's fine. Don't use the logos anywhere. Don't ever tag them on any social media whatsoever. And it's suggested to use the words pre-owned when you're listing on Facebook or your website or Instagram or anything like that, because anything sold from a brand, as soon as it's sold, it's used, just like a car. So you want to kind of stay away from saying that it's, brand new, because technically it's not. And from my research, I'm seeing that Chanel is going after those types of things or those types of sellers because they're trying to recreate the Chanel experience, and only Chanel can do that. Another thing is all these upcycled and repurposed keychains and earrings and things like that. It doesn't matter the profit that you're making, don't touch them, because that's a huge red flag. And the thing is you don't get a warning. I mean, your Instagram will be shut down, your Facebook will be shut down. So you just have to be really careful about those kind of things. And links, don't put a link in your description in Instagram, use it for Facebook. I see links all the time, but you definitely want to make it super easy for people to purchase off of your, your marketplace, Baya. So always use those links in Facebook. And that's really all that I wanted to jump in.
And one more thing on that regarding the new. So if you do have new product, it's just, there's no real authorized reseller of Louis Vuitton as there isn't for Rolex. And so of course, many of you already sell Rolex watches and utilize the terminology as mint condition rather than new. It just simply really in the end, it has the same effect as saying new.
Use unworn as another one.
What's that? Unworn. Yes. Thank you, Mark.
Great, thank you. So I see that we have a question in the Q&A, and I'll get that answered in a moment. So Quentin, Deanna, I'm assuming that these are kind of the common cases that you run into, the don'ts, and that's why you're providing the do's. Mark, Quentin, Deanna, anything else that you would add to this list around things that maybe you see that people are doing that are a don't, and could you offer a do, or do you feel like this is fairly comprehensive?
I feel this is fairly comprehensive, on this repurposed and upcycled material, as Deanna mentioned. It's certainly something to stay away from. If you do have that in inventory, it's best not to advertise it. And certainly do not use the actual brand name in the description of that item. So it's just simply not, anything that's modified from the original brand is simply not the same, is not the brand anymore. That's their perspective on it. And there's many lawsuits surrounding that particular topic.
It never hurts to have a disclosure if and where possible. I'm trying to think of the disclosure we usually use is something along the lines of all brands and trademarks are the property of their respective owners. We do not represent. Rolex is the one it's the most aggressive with us. So if you feel that Chanel or Louis Vuitton, you can also specifically state that you do not represent Chanel or that you do not represent Louis Vuitton, but at least some sort of attempt to say the images, brands, likeliness are owned by the respective owners. We don't represent them.
That's smart. You can put that on everything.
Yeah, if you can just disclose, off the top of my head, the sentence that we've master crafted over time, I'll copy and paste it to the chat.
Yeah, and another thing to do is when you're listing on Instagram, I mean, Baya, you're okay, and maybe you should just, do this uniform across the board. But if you are using an authentication company, which I don't care which one you use, but you should be, you want to remove that liability from yourself. So it's not you, like I'm ABC Pawn and I'm stating that this is authentic, because again, only the brands can say 100% something is authentic. So removing that liability to say, mint condition Chanel flat bag, we utilize authenticate first or whatever for authentication, whatever it may be and however you want to word it. But any way that you can get your point across so everybody knows what it is that you're selling, but removing liability is always a good idea.
Yeah, and one more thing to mention on that, Mark, is you're absolutely right in terms of the disclaimer, that disclaimer that you would place on any social media posts or anything else. Many people are going towards live selling on Instagram and on Facebook. I would basically verbally mention the disclaimer up front also, because a lot of those end up being recorded and you repost them or do other things with them. Just go through the disclaimer verbally before you start your live stream.
Yeah, that's good.
Those are awesome, awesome additional tips. Thank you, guys. I do want to go through a couple of questions. So just for a point of clarification, one question came in. So we shouldn't link our bio page on Instagram.
Oh, no, absolutely. You can, and you want to utilize as many links as you can in Instagram. And you can use something like LinkedIn, link in bio. There's later.com who has it. They have another link tree. So Instagram gives you one link, but there's a lot of other companies that allow you to build your links out. Like if you go to Marquee Mentor on Instagram, you can click on that and see. So you want to do that. You want to link to your website. You want to link to your bio page, maybe your Facebook or anything else. You can have multiple links in there. But I'm saying in the description itself, you can't link anything in there. And when you're, it's HTTP, www in the description itself, it just doesn't look professional.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm thinking is we've got another webinar next week. So I can actually put together some resources for you all on how to link stuff so you can link it in your bio and create a library of links. So I'll add that to an action item for next week's webinar to show you all how to do that. Also for next week's webinar, Kathleen, I'm going to jump in because Anna asked a question about handbag condition ratings and basically how to market bags with tags that are still attached. Marquee has an awesome condition rating PDF. And one of the things that we're doing before next week's webinar is we will be matching Marquee's suggested condition ratings through Bravo with the exact descriptions. So starting next week, we will have both the estimator on the loan side and the estimator on the buy and retail side complete with Marquee's basically best practices for taking in handbags and describing them by condition. So Deanna, for now, because I don't have that PDF pulled up, what would be the best designation for a bag with tags still attached?
Still attached, I would say A. I mean, there's A+, but nothing ever really hits A+, because again, it's like the car, you're driving it off the lot. But you could just say in pristine mint A condition.
Or unworn, as Mark suggested earlier.
Yeah, unworn, unused. Well, I don't know about unused, but unworn, I think of clothes. So yeah, but just I always put like, when I had my companies, it was pristine. If there was not one flaw, brand new with tags, it was pristine. You can say like new, but give it that A condition rating.
Awesome. Another question from Morris for Deanna or for Quentin is, how do you describe a watch band made with Louis Vuitton leather properly?
Fake? No, sorry. It's upcycled. It's recycled.
Upcycled, custom designer, upcycled custom designer band.
It's not authorized by Louis Vuitton. That's why you can't use the Louis Vuitton name, because they never produced that. So you can say it's upcycled with authenticated material that came from this bag. You can tell your story, but again, do that in store. Don't do it online.
That's awesome advice.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you're looking for that general disclaimer language, Mark posted that into the chat. So you can go on in there and copy and paste that out of there. Are there any other questions, Kathleen, that I'm missing?
No, those were the 3 that I saw as well. Oh yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Sorry. It's just the general concept. If you find yourself in a position where you have to defend yourself, it's going to be against the brand, and they're going to be claiming that you're positioning yourself as an authorized dealer, and you want to be able to defend yourself and say, no, we're not. We disclose that they're not our trademarks or likeliness. We disclose that we're not a dealer. We clearly said the bag was pre-owned. So if you are including their likeliness, if you're saying brand new, if you're skirting the edge as you're not towing the line, as Q said, you're opening yourself up for not only scrutiny, but you have a less defensible position. If you're saying minty or pristine, if you're saying these aren't our brands, if you're saying I'm not a dealer, let's say you do a lot of Louis Vuitton and Chanel, and your disclosure I would put, please note we are not an authorized Chanel or Louis Vuitton dealer or retailer. That's very defensible.
That's great advice.
Great advice, great questions. Keep them coming. We love this. We'll continue to monitor chat, but yeah, Tally, why don't you go ahead and I think you have a couple more slides that you want to be presenting here.
So we took the do's and don'ts and we created a banner for you all to check out. Thanks to Mark and Ryan's photography. So thanks for letting us use your images. So this is an example of an awesome banner. We actually loaded this into Baya. We're going to be sharing this image to everybody that's on this webinar. So if you want to use it for your own company branded site, you can go ahead and use that. And then just as a reminder, I pasted in here the different dimensions for the different ads that are available within your company branded site. So both on the carousel, which is that big image that we've shared here, the homepage slide, which is on the right side, and the 345 plus actually means that you can make that as long as you want. So you're not confined to that sort of like size like this. And then on every product page, you also have a left side image and a right side image. We're going to be talking about some awesome sort of certifications that you can put up in those places as well as we get to the later in the presentation. And then I will be posting this image in the Zoom chat. We'll also include it in the resources that we send you after this webinar. So feel free to use it. Thanks to Lizzie, our designer, for creating it. Thanks to Ideal Luxury for providing the images. And thanks to Deanna and Quentin for giving us the do's and don'ts, which we had to update some of our own. So we really appreciate that. And in company branded, within the admin area, you have, I just sort of wanted to show where you update these. And so you just go into the different images, you're going to add it, and you're going to browse it. Some customers that have company branded don't even know that you can load your own ads into there. So you're just going to go to your company branded. So if it's Ideal Luxury, it would be shop.idealluxury.com/admin. And then you're going to log in and you can update whatever banners you want. Highly suggest going in there and making some of the top categories that you're trying to sell.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now we get into some examples. This is where we're going to want all of your participation to drop in what you think in the chat. Mark, I know we didn't have a chance to talk before this webinar, but we're also going to call on you to give us your thought before we reveal whether or not the example we're showing is a do or a don't. So, all right, so Tally, let's pull up the first image. Okay. So in chat, everybody take just a couple seconds here, drop into chat if you think that based on what we've just learned, this image and this advertising is a do or a don't. All right. I see a few people in here, a lot of don'ts. 3, 2, 1. All right, don'ts. Okay, Mark, you're in the hot seat. What's your thought?
Is that a bag? That would be a don't. This is like Hollywood Squares or something. This is fun. Don't.
This is a don't. So we have a couple of reasons on the screen here, but can you, Deanna, Quentin, jump in and let us know some of the primary problems that would need to be fixed?
Oh my God, the image first. And there's only one image. And I'm more fixated on what's that white thing in behind the bag than the bag itself. So make sure you have several images detailing the whole entire bag and make sure that first one is inviting. Quentin, you want to jump in?
You know, obviously you got to run your store and get the photos done and get things listed to keep, at the end of the day, you're selling. People take the leap of faith when they buy things secondhand or online. So you got to address that by making them feel comfortable. Give them something that looks inviting. Bags, I'd say the number one reason we see bags return is because we didn't fully disclose a scuff or maybe a pen mark on the inside. Get that information out there, try to make it look as attractive as possible, and you'll bridge that leap of faith to make an online purchase for a secondhand item.
Yep, and if you need to take a quick photo, because sometimes you're just bringing it into inventory inside of Bravo, just use a foam board, white foam board in the back and a white foam board on the bottom, and just place your item on there, and you can buy a handbag stand from Amazon. Then at least you have that first photo done in a more professional way.
And what you want to remember is you want to answer all the questions that your potential customer is going to have. And you want to do that in your description and also in the images, because like for myself, first thing I do when I see a bag is I look at the serial number or the date code, because that's how I can tell whether it's authentic or not. So if that's not even listed, even if this is a screaming great price, I'm going to pass on it.
All right, let's move to the next example. So again, in the chat, go ahead in the next 10 seconds, put in your thoughts around whether this is a do or a don't based on what we've learned. All right, we have a few answers here. The consensus is that this is a do. Tally, are they right? Mark, what do you think? Yes, it's a do. All right, thoughts around why this is a do. What are people doing right here, even if it could be done better?
Well, I think number one, the title alone is catching. It says what it is, but it also says crossbody and shoulder. And I think people don't realize that that also helps with the SEO. So if I was looking for an MCM crossbody, you know, this is going to come up. If I was looking for a shoulder bag, this is going to come up. If it's just MCM, then it's going to be way down on the list. But I love the fact that it shows the shoulder strap, so I don't have to ask that question. And you can see that there are several images available.
The other thing is that the bag was actually stuffed. So a lot of
Yes.
times you'll see that the bags are not stuffed. Again, you can just put paper in there and stuff the bag so that it looks a little bit more full rather than flat on the surface or on the handbag stand.
Awesome, thank you. All right, we have a couple more. Tally, let's move to the next one. All right, next 10 seconds, do or don't, folks. All right, so a lot of no's, don'ts. Mark, what do you think?
I would start with don't because it doesn't say Louis Vuitton, and that's what's going to grab the most attention. The photo is actually not too bad. It's a stock image, and there's only one image.
All right, Mark, you passed. Well done.
Oh my God. Gold star, Tally, do we get a gold star?
Maybe, yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll see if you get the next one right too. All right, any commentary you guys want to add to this?
Yeah,
So Mark added a few good points.
It is mislabeled, so it says Betsy Johnson bag, and there's a photo of a Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Or sometimes also with the stock images that I do see out there when people do use them, sometimes they're actually of a non-authentic stock image. I see that a lot actually in the universe, and so you know, it's important that that it is the authentic. So you might as well just use your own photo there. But yeah, it's a mismatch in terms of the name. And then also the condition rating is suggesting 99% new without tags. So again, we don't know because it's not the right bag to begin with.
But it's sold.
All right, and last example, just to drive it home here. What does everyone think? Do's or don'ts? Oh, this is a second to last, definitely. All right, I think this one's pretty obvious. Tally, drum roll. It's a don't.
You know, can I say one thing here? Like, I'm going to look at the bag, a good picture, and then I'm going to read the condition rating. If it says, okay, it's fair, starting to look well used, may have stains, still has some life left. As you're listing these and taking, you know, your photographs, make sure you photographed those stains. I mean, you don't have to get down to the minute detail, but if there's piping showing or there are stains on the inside, just take a quick picture. You know, I mean, I don't have to say, make sure your first image is what the bag is and we can see it. But, you know, as you're doing that, I want to see visually what I'm getting into and what I potentially may buy. So
I think Mark made a really awesome point, and I always say this in webinars where I'm talking about e-commerce. When people are buying from Baya or your company branded site, they know that they're buying something that's pre-owned, and not often enough the details of what's worn on that item or just any general merchandise or any jewelry item really needs to be well described and photographed. This is how you drive the return rate down. People know that they're buying something used. They just want to know that when they open the box, it's what they're expecting. So make sure that you're documenting that, and make sure that part of your quality assurance is that on the way out, as you're putting it into the box. If there's something, if there's a scratch or if there's a scuff that you didn't notate in the listing, that you just call that customer and let them know. Set the expectation before you ship it out and they get something that they weren't expecting, leave you a poor review, and then ship the item back to you. So make sure you're doing that.
If I could piggyback on that too, it's funny when I think about, we obviously sell secondhand goods all over the place. And I realize, especially when it's online, that it is a leap of faith. They want a real item and they want the savings, but they're terrified of buying online. And the better job you do of addressing those issues up front, having a good liberal return policy to give them peace of mind. I mean, look, bags, you can only have so many stories, I always say, right? Like, so if you have an item that has like one story you have to kind of explain, people get beyond that. But if there's multiple stories, it's real hard, and you're either not going to sell it or it's going to be a return. So like with bags, odors, pen marks, any scuffs, an item normally comes with a pochette and you don't have it. All those things are explained. It's not brand new and they're buying it at a third of retail. Just let them know that kind of stuff up front. And when you're buying the item initially with the thought of reselling it, if it's got too many stories for you to explain with condition and missing items and damage, I'd recommend you pass on the item.
Yeah, and you know what, the one thing that I do want to kind of expand on that is I can read that there's pen marks inside, but my imagination is going to assume that they're all over the place. So that's why you want these images in your listing. So if I'm reading pen marks and I see, oh my gosh, it's the tiniest pen mark, then it doesn't matter. So just, and again, it doesn't have to be every minute thing, but just like yourself, when you're shopping online, you have a certain expectation. So you want to make sure you're meeting those for your customers.
And I got to tell you, gang, as much as we go to detail in our descriptions and tables, you have to go with the assumption that people do not read. This particular listing, you would have somebody ask if it's a Fendi bag, and Fendi in the title. So, you'll have good readers and you'll have good lookers. Just make sure you're addressing both. But if you were to pick one, they're going to look at images and or video before they read anything that you put in a description. Sadly, but our experience to be true.
So what I'm hearing is don't put marketing spin on it, like marketing's great doing, and no artistic expression in your photography. Just be transparent and straightforward. All right,
Nice.
last one. Do or don't. Drop it in the chat. Okay, some no's in here. Mostly no's. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we have this as a do. All right, talk us through this.
Well, for myself, it's very clear. The only thing that I would say on this is that it's listed as in-store pickup only. But if you look down at the bottom of the description, it's postal insurance will be added. So that's another point. Don't copy and paste everything unless everything is the same. Because I'll look at that and go, well, can I get it shipped or can I do? But the images are exactly what it is. It's a Chanel pink quilted zip card holder. So it's definitely a do. It's not distracting. And
I think some of the no's are coming as a result of the new without tags labeling here. So I think this is where there may be some updates coming within the system, right, Tally?
Yeah. But it's a do, 100%. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And thanks for all the participation. So this is just a recap of the primary do's and don'ts. I know we added to this list here. So any other questions around the do's and the don'ts before we hop into the continuing ed program by Marquee Mentor? All right, let's jump into that. So Deanna, Quentin, this was a really big initiative, really exciting initiative that Marquee has launched. So let's first talk about why you created the Marquee Mentor School, and then we'll talk about what it is and how it is. And Tally, you may be able to go to that next slide there.
Okay, so education, basically that's it. I mean, I believe most everyone on this call knows myself and knows Quentin as the CEO from Marquee Luxury. We we found when I came over here from Entropy, people would apply for wholesale, but they wouldn't qualify because they don't have an established business and, not seasoned social media. And we had wanted to do something like this for a long time. And it's, where do you refer these people to? There's no place to educate people getting into this industry. And then business owners, things are changing. So what support do you have? With people that are, I mean, this is a niche industry. So you want to, surround yourself with people that are continuing to learn and grow so you can. So that's why we basically launched Marquee Mentor, is to support, educate, and give guidance to anyone in this industry. Quentin, you want to say a couple words?
Well, I think it was important, to in terms of the mentor program itself, to bring some industry professionals together to basically explain this industry a little bit better. There's really no place online, as Deanna has mentioned many times in the past, where you can just find a centralized place to get information regarding this particular resale business. So I think that was probably the main thing. When I started in this business in the resale side about 10 years ago, it was all scattered information. Unfortunately, the information that's posted online is by people that really have no credibility. And as a result, it's misinformation. And so I think that centralizing that was important. And then this organization of the school side is really, as Deanna mentioned, is really to educate everybody on the resale business specifically.
Awesome. So let's move on then and talk a little bit more about the specifics of the program itself. How does it work? What are people going to learn, and what can they expect?
Well, the mentor,
jump to that next slide. Sorry, Deanna.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's okay. The mentor program is literally a private support system for you, the business owner, and your employees. So we've done everything in the private learning platform, which is built on Slack, where you have access to myself and the other advisors like Graham Wetzberger, who was the director of authentication at The Real for 8 years, Foxy LV, who was an influencer and has a direct line to Louis Vuitton. So you have all these industry professionals, advisors standing by, ready to support you. I know on weekends, you guys don't take off. You guys still need help. Somebody brings a bag in, you're not sure what it is. You can post that in the PLP and get a response within 60 seconds. And this is 7 days a week. What we found moving forward is that the educational part of learning about the brands, authentication, things like that, just basic understandings is lacking. So what we've done is we've created this platform where you can join, and it's $49 a month, but you receive $100 credit each month to use at Marquee Luxury. You get free access to the first e-course, How to Launch a Luxury Resale Business. You get discounts on the following courses. There's so much that's going on, and it's all to help you grow your business. Basically, that's it. The courses that we've just launched, the how-to, probably nobody would need that one just because it's more for, brand new people just starting out. But we have created 6 volumes of the beginner's course to luxury handbag authentication. Each month, another course will go live. Each course has 5 brands. So the first course is Balenciaga, Celine, Chloe, Longchamp, and Louis Vuitton. This is all done on the Teachable platform, and it's going to walk you through like a brief history, the top selling styles, the materials used inside and out, hardware, how to read a serial number, a day code, or a serial code. And then it's going to give you images, because I'm very image heavy. Referencing is super easy for me to learn, and I feel everybody is that way. Red flags to look out for. So understanding each brand just on a basic level, but even the basic part, like I learned a lot researching for these, like Celine and Chloe, the way that Chloe has changed their date codes and, the font styles and things like that. There's so much in there. So we created an e-course that you'll receive a certificate of completion when you're done. Teachable produces one, but we have a better one. So we FedEx it to you that you can print or you can hang up. So even having new employees come in and they're just learning about it, this is an amazing opportunity for them to learn in a couple of hours, you know, okay, this is what this is called. This should be here. This shouldn't be here. But then after the fact, I mean, we only retain so much information. We're turning that course into a book, a companion book that's available on Amazon. And there's more information in that. So it's just, I've just been creating content over and over again. Like we have a book on Chanel that is just waiting for the approval process through Amazon. That's 123 pages of serial stickers and logos, their corresponding logos by year. So the educational component is key to success. And that's what we want to do, is we want to create a hub to where anybody that has interest in this or is reselling these luxury goods has a place that they can go, that they can trust what's being put out. Is, you know, we're not selling anything with Mentor. We don't. We're here to support you. That's it. But at least you know that you can trust the information you're getting. And that's what we're, you know, hoping to do, is just help everybody grow their business.
That is awesome. And I think a couple of questions that people have asked are, how long are the courses? So what's the time commitment? And then secondly, when they're done with the course, are they able to authenticate? So could you speak to both of those?
Absolutely. Okay, so the volume courses on authentication, there you can log on and off at your own time. So it's not like you have to sit and do it all at once, and it shouldn't be more than a couple of hours. And will you be able to authenticate? That really, I can't say, because I don't know what you already know, but you are going to have a much, much better understanding of those 5 brands, you know. And again, each month another volume is coming out. And if you go to markmentor.school, that's our teachable page, and you can click on any one of these links and see what brands are coming up. And, you know, take the ones that, you know, you really are interested in. Buy the books for all the rest. But yeah, 2 hours maybe max for the course.
Great, thank you. And there's a question that came in chat, just a clarification on pricing. A $49 amount was mentioned, and then I know we have a 50% discount. So could you talk through the pricing for Bravo customers and non-Bravo customers?
Absolutely. Non-Bravo customers are going to pay $99 to access any one of these courses. The How to Launch a Luxury Resale Business, you are more than welcome to take. That's $49. Bravo customers receive a 50% discount on the courses, the volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, they're not all live. Number 1 is, number 2 will be this month. And then as they're put together, they will be pushed out, but you will receive 50% off on all of those. And then the book itself, that's Amazon, that's $49.99. It's a great reference material. And then to join Marquee Mentor, that's $49. Everything's $49. $49, but that turns into a $100 credit to use at Marquee Luxury. So.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that. And then next we want to talk about, right, people are putting all this time and energy into going through the courses, learning, and we want people to be able to preach what they're practicing, right? The discipline to be educated and learn these things. So Tally, Deanna, can you talk through the certification and the badges and how that's going to work?
So these are badges that Marquee designed just for Bravo customers that are completing these courses. And the way that these work is, once you complete the course, you will get the badge to display. On Baya, we will be in the banner spaces describing what each of these different courses means, so that when you see it, the consumer knows what it means. What we recommend is that on the final image of when you're adding images in, you just drop in to the last image that you're a certified Marquee Mentor, completed this course. And then on your own company branded website, we'll be providing all of the same banners that you can use that basically describe your certification. The other piece of this is that in Bravo, on your web tab in system configuration, there's actually a place to put in certifications. So make sure that you're adding it there for sure, because that will be applied to all of your listings as well. And I think that's it on my side. Deanna, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think, you know, if you're committing to signing up for these courses and you're completing them, I mean, you're getting a certificate of completion. This is not a joke. And this is something that you should be very proud of and you should display because, you know, your customers want to know that you've got their back. So if you're committing to, you know, furthering your education in the luxury resale industry and to educate yourself and your employees that you know or are learning the differences between counterfeit and authentic, that's going to make you sound so much more knowledgeable when you're having conversations with people. But putting these badges up, that's something to be very proud about. You know, no one else is doing this, but anytime you can set yourself apart from your competitors, why wouldn't you?
Awesome. I've seen a couple other questions come in. One of the questions, I believe this is referring maybe to the PLP, but are the experts like Deanna giving feedback on the item, or is it other paying users of Marquee Mentor?
No, it's myself, it's Graham, it's Foxy, it's basically us that are responding. So the PLP is broken down to channels. So we have a business channel, a website channel, social media, pricing, authentication. So the members will post images and ask for assistance in authentication. And let me say one thing right here. This is not to replace whether you're using Entropy or Authenticate First or Real Authentication. This is just a first pass through. So say like you have an employee, somebody brings a Fendi bag in and they're like, I've never seen this before. They can literally post it within the PLP and you've got myself and others jumping in going, oh, it's this bag. This is where it was made. It's fake, it's real. And then if they need pricing, they can post it in the pricing channel or just say pricing in that. And it's to kind of teach everyone, oh, this is how it's done, okay? Because after you do this enough, then it's gonna be a no-brainer. Like people will post for pricing. I know in 2 seconds what the resale value is, whether I've done my homework or I know how to Google search really quickly for that bag. So it's just kind of helping to guide you to where you can grow your business, but you know you've got the support behind you.
I'll chime in if I could, Kathleen. You know, we've been fortunate to work with Deanna going back when she was at Entropy. We're an Entropy dealer. We've been fortunate enough to work with Quentin and his team, I call him Q, for quite a few years now. They've been a great resource for us. And the best thing I can say about both of them is there were bags. We predominantly do Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Hermes. But we've evolved to doing more bags because of the support and confidence that both Deanna and Q have given us. And I may not list those bags on my site. I might flip them. In other words, I run the bag by Q or Deanna. They give me an idea of what they think the value is, and I'll buy it based on that value and flip it to them. It's not something I would normally do in my inventory, but they gave me the confidence to increase our revenue and the bags that we will consider. You have a customer coming, they may have, you want to cherry pick, so to speak. Don't tell Q that. I give them all the best stuff. But what Deanna described and what Q laid out earlier, these are things that we have literally used now for a few years, and it's increased our revenue on the bag side as a result. This is, it's not just marketing fluff, it's real. They're there, they support, they truly have a passion for it, and it's helped us. So I recommend that you use them. Use them. You'll buy more bags, you'll have more confidence, you'll make more money.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, we have done some business and we appreciate the business. And certainly when somebody comes in with a group of items, you can basically buy the entire group. You can pass a few of them off to us if you'd like, or do whatever with it. But we certainly can give you some guidance in terms of authenticity and also the value of those goods.
It's definitely helped on the group. They bring in 10 bags. If you're only looking for 3, they're really looking for a solution for all the bags. And Quentin specifically, we've done a lot lately, actually. It's been helpful in giving them a fair offer for the whole bunch, knowing that I might send 6 to Q to review and buy, but the customer's happy because they got what they were looking for in a one-stop shop.
Yeah, and we for the most part on the backside of that, in terms of accepting the goods, we pretty much will take any brand and any condition item, because we do have the distribution channels on our side. It's been built over the course of the years. So certainly that's the case. And in many group packages, we end up with, although suggesting that cherry picks, some of the items that we've gotten from Mark are also the cherries for us too. So certainly we will look at anything at this point.
And I just wanted to make a note, and thank you, Mark, for the kind words. I appreciate that. Mark Mentor is education based. We don't sell, okay? Marquee Luxury, that's where you get the bags, you sell the bags, you buy the bags. So while it's under the same umbrella, Mentor is really, really just about the education and the support that you need as a business owner.
And Deanna, for the mentor program, can multiple employees, how does that work with one company and they have multiple employees who want to have access to that?
It's normally a business owner and then 2 employees, but we can definitely, move things around to make it happen, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that, we're there for you. So just go ahead and reach out to me and we'll discuss. I know we do have several multi-location companies in the PLP, so the more the merrier. We'll make it work for you.
Tally, I see that there's a question here about BIA. I don't know if we want to be addressing that in the Q&A or if that's something you want to take offline.
Is it the one about adding in the BIA template?
Rearranging and selecting promoted categories. Looks like some of the things that are showing up on BIA aren't necessarily the items they want to be promoting.
Okay, on company branded, just shoot me an email, tally@bia.com. I'll drop it in here. We can basically talk about rearranging your company branded. So just go ahead and shoot me an email. And then there was another question, Deanna, on the multiple employees. Can multiple employees, if they buy one of the educational courses, can they share that with employees?
Well, you shouldn't, because only one person's going to get the certificate.
Yep.
But I mean, I can't stop you from putting it on a big screen. Yeah, but only one person gets the very cool certificate with the
internally in our company, although yes, there is a cost to the course, and Deanna makes a good point, is the certificate is specific to the individual. Even within our own company, everybody's required to take these courses. And from the person in the accounting department to obviously the salespeople. So I certainly would recommend it for anybody in the organization, because it's valuable, and they advance their position in the resale industry altogether.
And you're a Bravo customer, so it's basically 2 for 1.
Right.
Exactly.
It looks like there's some interest. If you guys we can take this offline as well, but Mark, Quentin, could you guys talk a little bit more about how it works with Marquee Luxury buying handbags?
Yeah, so at the moment, it's, I would say, a little bit of an unstructured approach. In most cases, many of the Bravo customers and clients will just reach out to me directly through my cell phone. In other cases, people will upload the photographs through the Marquee Luxury website, and then we'll basically provide them a quote. For the most part, I would probably suggest that we do take it offline and we would just coordinate a call, and then we can discuss the specifics. And then normally on an ad hoc basis, I'll just receive texts and then reply back with a general value for the items. Unless you're involved also in the mentor program, then within the PLP, you can also communicate that way regarding the buying of those items.
Okay, great. So Quentin, I'll make sure actually for all the presenters and panelists that we have a copy of the chat and all of those, so you know who to contact afterwards.
Right.
Is there
much like when you're presenting the items for sale online, when you're trying to get feedback from Quentin or his team, some good photos and a description, the better you set their expectations on the item, its condition, its accoutrements, box, raincoat, that kind of stuff, the more accurate you'll get a quote. And when he gets it, he'll be satisfied, and he won't have to adjust the pricing.
Yes, that's correct. Thanks, Mark.
No worries.
All right, a lot of great questions. I apologize. It looks like I forgot to put Deanna's email on there. So we can put that in the chat perhaps. But you have Deanna's phone number on there. If you want to check out the education courses we were talking about, you see the web address on there. Since you are registered for this webinar, you are automatically registered for the other 2 webinars in the series, so you don't have to worry about that. Next week, we're going to be talking about displaying luxury goods, both online and in retail. Again, similar format, do's and don'ts, great examples. We'll recap the education program. And then the last part of this series is how to handle working with customers when they're bringing something in that isn't authentic, and how do you have that conversation to still be respectful and still provide a really great customer experience. So we'll sit on the line here for about another minute or two in case there's any other questions that come in. In the meantime, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, for being part of the hot seat. I don't know if you knew that we were going to do that to you today.
No, I'm sure I owe Callie immensely for giving her a hard time over the years. So I'm sure that was by design to put me on the hot seat. I'm glad I didn't know that. But no, quite frankly, Deanna reached out to me, but I am a big fan of Callie and Steve and Bravo, and a big fan of Deanna, no matter where she is. And we've had great experience with Marquis over the years. So it was an easy answer. Sorry I've been on my phone so much. Of course, I blocked out some undistracted time, and my clients that doesn't work. So sorry for being on the phone so much, but it's been a great webinar, and glad to be a part.
Thank you so much. And Quentin and Deanna, you guys are just awesome partners. We're so proud to have a partnership with Marquis, bringing a lot of just great education, great information, actionable items to the pawn industry. And we appreciate that. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And just to say, do they have the code to sign up? It's Bravo to take 50% off the authentication.
Oh, all right. Bravo is the code. No,
yeah, Bravo.
So we're going to be sending out the recording, but I think there were a lot of great questions and action items that we went through today. So I think what Callie and I will do is just compile kind of a sheet for you as well, an overview sheet for everyone on the call, so that you get that as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.